As we continue our discussion of The Wizard of Oz, I want to remind you that last week Dorothy, kind of against her own will, was invited to go on an adventure. And she left Kansas and went to Oz. And she was all alone, but soon she meets a whole crowd of people, and they tell her to take the Yellow Brick Road. And as they go down the Yellow Brick Road, the first one she meets is the Scarecrow. And his desire is to have a brain. His cloth head is stuffed with straw. It's not enough for him, and he wants to be able to think, and he has a grand idea of what thinking must be like, and it's something he really wants. So he wants a brain. And the next person she meets is the Tin Man, and the Tin Man is frozen. He can't move. He can barely mumble something, and they oil him, and he becomes mobile. And he tells them he wants a heart because he's hollow inside and cannot believe very honestly in their hearts. Well, if they had one, they believe that they don't have the qualities that they would like, the qualities that would make them more complete, a brain or a heart, to be able to think or to feel. As if adventures unfold, of course, you'll see that the smartest one of them really is the Scarecrow. He comes up with all the good ideas, and it turns out that becomes his real forte. He's a good thinker and planner. And the Tin Man is the one who has the most emotions. He almost cries himself into rusting again. It is the very thing that they think they lack that they are actually demonstrating in the movie. How many times has it been that you think you don't know the answer to something? You feel as though it's just it's a mystery to you what you should do next, or what the conclusion of your efforts will be, or where you should go. And I think one of the things we have trained ourselves to do is to feel less smart, less intuitive, less wise than we really are. We might see that deep inside us, there's some compass, some knowing, some automatic yes, no, more like this, less like that aspect of ourselves, which is guiding us on our path of unfolding. And we often don't pay attention to it. Sometimes it's external things that will be telling us, no, don't go that way. No, don't go that way. And yet we determinedly or habitually go that way. But there is, if we learn to discern this, there is a more knowing part inside us that actually the feelings are expressors of that knowing. And those feelings, when we pay attention to them, they can guide us in the direction we need to go. You can walk into a room and go, there's something not right here. I think I better go someplace else. You can meet someone and know instantly if you like them or not, and if you find them to be dangerous or not. The very act of paying attention to our inner state is really a large part of what we gain by being in meditation and in silence. As we become attuned to this body and mind structure, which somehow knows more than our conscious mind might give it credit for. And so if we can pay attention to our inner feelings, I think we begin to become more adept at moving through the world, making wiser decisions, and letting ourselves be guided by something higher than our simple way of thinking. All we need is confirmation from the outside to encourage us that we are wise, or we have feelings and that we really care. I think that's why community becomes so important on the spiritual path. There's so many ways to doubt ourselves when we're in this life. We can doubt ourselves as being smart enough or having enough depth that we don't know what we think or feel. We can wonder, but sometimes in conversation, merely having someone else reflect back to us what we've been doing or feeling, that we can take encouragement from their presence, their way of affirming that we're on the path. And this sharing is part of what it is to be a human being. For most of our existence as creatures on this earth, we have been social animals. And as social animals, we need their interaction. And so when we get a chance to interact with people in a way that feels safe to us, I think it begins to open up avenues of knowing inside ourselves. We're reminded by them that, hey, we do have good ideas, or yes, we really do care for people. If you really wanted to develop your mind, though, and to develop your heart, I think few ways could be as helpful as being compassionate with others. This idea of compassion really kind of combines the whole idea of wisdom and of caring. And when we do compassion, one of the things we often need to bring to it is a sense of understanding. And when we practice compassion, we deepen our ability to sense within ourselves our own feeling states. And maybe we need to be reminded that as we love, we feel that love first. As we care for another, we feel a sense of belonging like we wouldn't have otherwise. Our whole being reflects the way we extend out. It reflects back to us first. So if we're loving and compassionate to the world or to any one person, we find that what comes back to us is that feeling of love and compassion toward ourselves. We have essentially a mirror in front of us when we see someone. And as we give it to them, it comes bouncing back to us. Our hearts and minds long to be used. Let us use them in the service of compassion and be that light unto the world we have always wanted to be.